Quick time.
I am. Yeah. We live right now. See, it's ridiculous. I asked you to get me my co-host to introduce the show because I'm chowing down because I'm hungry. Look at Prime eating behind the scenes as well. You get what I'm saying? And that he's chowing down with his shades on. Prime, what you eating there? You know what I'm saying? You can tell us when you jump on. But yes, people, welcome to another edition of Sarcasm City TV presents the Sarcasm City Sports Q&A, hosted by myself, Flawless Mr. Take Note. I'm also joined by Yan City. This side, there we go. Yan City, what you telling me?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, you set up a fan club, you get me? Last show when we did the Gyardon versus Mandem and that. Yeah, you smiling it. But anyway, let me introduce the guests and that. You know what I'm saying? And that. So salute Prime.
What up?
Who's just on Sarcasm City podcast. What you saying, Prime? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, man. Anytime, you already know what it is. Shout out to Jem, also Football Terrace Familiar, another Chelsea fan. Just set up GNA TV with my little bro.
Yes, bro. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man. Anytime. Also, got to salute my big bros, even though they were just cussing me out for eating on the mic and that. AV8 and Mikey. What you man saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. We're all right, man. Large up people, man.
Yeah, man. Large up people. See? Yeah. I told you, Jan, you got fans, so we're just going to start here. You know what I'm saying? It could be this type of show. Then shout out my brother Tox and that in the building. Yeah, me. He said, here she is. Yeah, me, hair flowing and that. I told you, you got fans in it. You know what I'm saying? But yes, people, you know how this show works anyway. This is just, you can ask any sporting question, so it can be present, past, any club, any sport, etc. But I don't even know, where do we start? All right, where we'll start is, since we got two Chelsea fans on, we'll start with you, Jem. Do you see Chelsea with everything that's going on at Liverpool, with them all the injuries, City not being what they were? It looks like we could get another Leicester season. Are Chelsea genuine title contenders in your mind?
I think we've got as much chance as every other team at the moment. I don't put any team in front of anyone at the moment because it's just so unpredictable this season. I just think, like, yes, we got a good squad. Yes, we are playing well. Yes, we're on a good stint of form. But I'm not going to jump the gun and sit here and say, yeah, we can win the league because Liverpool have got all these injuries. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just take it as it comes, bro. I'd say.
Fair dues. Yeah, Prime, same question to you.
Yeah, I basically feel the same way. I still put Liverpool as favourites because Klopp is a world-class manager, and I would expect a world-class manager, even with these injuries, to still be able to navigate a title win. Are Chelsea going to challenge? Yes, we should with the squad that we have, but to put us as automatic favourites, I personally wouldn't, because as much as I back Frank, I still have not seen anything as of yet to say that we're going to win the league this season.
I hear that.
Okay, so do you expect to finish? Go on, Jim. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, I just think I need to see us playing against the top six a bit more. I know we're winning against the lower teams at the moment, but I've not seen much against the top six. So for me, I want to see how we play against them. We need to continue this consistency as well. For me, the team that's going to win the league is the team that can build up the most consistency throughout. It's like one of them mad seasons, though. Like you said, it could just be one of them random ones where, like, Leicester are like nearly there or saying everyone's been so poor. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just don't know.
That's what I'm looking at it. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. It really could be, obviously, with the pandemic, with the season being no preseason, etc. AV8 Mikey, same question to you. Do you used to look at Chelsea as genuine title contenders with everything that's going on?
I think it's a possibility. Obviously, what we've seen so far is, you've just mentioned it, with teams that have not had pre-season. You've seen the teams who have had pre-season kind of gather some momentum and fall off. But when you look at like a Villa, what they've done is got a few additions, which seems to be, having a good combination, and they're getting results off some of the bigger teams, as you would say. So for me, I think Lampard, finally, what he's done is he's finally got the attacking prowess of what he wants. The only thing I would say that they might falter on is the defence. I don't think he's strengthened enough at the back. He's still a young manager. So do I feel like they're in a title contender? Yes. I think they're one of the teams. There's two more spots. I think they are out of them and Spurs. They could finish in the top four. Everybody's got a chance, haven't they? Especially Chelsea, because flipping heck, man. You've got Liverpool with their injuries now. You've got and there's going to be more injuries, I think. So I think he's injured now, isn't he? For City.
Yeah.
For City. So he's injured. Man United are not great. We've got to find our feet. So just after the international break, I think we'll see how much momentum gathers. Because I think Villa and they're going to fall off because the squad's not big enough. But what I will say is when Ad said what he said last week, he didn't really back it up well. But because Liverpool have got Van Dijk out and now Gomez is out for quite the foreseeable future,
This is injured as well.
Yeah. It's gonna. Let's just say it's gonna be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
I hear that. And it is. And same to you, Jan City. Do you look at Chelsea as title contenders?
I think obviously in the summer, because they did well in the transfer market, I think people were saying that they wouldn't win it because they expected Liverpool to go and retain it. And if not Liverpool, then City. But the way this season's gone, it's unpredictable. So who knows? I don't think I agree with Jam. I don't think you can call it yet. Because because City are having a bad season on paper, but if we win our game in hand, we're on the same points as Chelsea, who they're talking about a title race. So I think this season it's way too early to be saying they're going to win it. But can they win it? Yeah, I would think they can.
Yeah, but United are the same. Remember, we've got a game in hand against Burnley. We win that game, we're in the mix as well. So that's
And if you don't, you're fighting relegation, isn't it? One or two.
Oh, yeah, true. Same way, isn't it?
There you go, innit? So what you're telling me, Mikey, is United title charge soon come, yeah? Is that what you're telling me?
United title charge should soon come when they sort out.
Better chance of winning the Champions League this season.
Yo, trust me.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. That's a great point, Prime. I've said that. Like I said, we spoke on that on the Garden City meets Man United. We're talking about Manchester United's chances, and like I say, with the individual players United have, there is a possibility here. So someone here sent shots at Firmino. Obviously, he's a Liverpool player. I'm with it. So it's like, all right, we'll go into this just because. Shout out Omar Mali. He says, Roberto Firmino really went from no-look goals to no goals. I love that joke, by the way. Why I want to ask though on Firmino, all like jokes aside, has there been a bigger fall from grace from where he was a part of that front three that won the Champions League and solidified to now where people really question you as a striker because you just don't score goals? Jan, we'll start with you.
I don't know if it's happened before, but I think with Liverpool, when they've kind of needed a goal, he's not scored, so that's why he'll get noticed. I think last season, because they were doing so well and they were getting the results, he could kind of blend into the background a bit. But now this season, they've not started as well. People are questioning him now. Because I don't think he's been scoring for a while, but because they were winning the league, no one really questioned him. So I think more the focus on him. I think that's what it is.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Yeah, and same to you, Jim. That's the same question to you. How do you look at it?
He's only ever had one good season at Liverpool, and that was his first season. Other than that, he's been dead. Let's be serious. Like what he does do, what he does do. He's a squad player, isn't it? Think of it. Like he's more of a 10 than he is a striker. Like he comes deep, he picks the ball up, he links the play, but he don't add goals. And this is why I think Jota's giving them something a bit different. Because they don't have to rely on Sane, they don't have to rely on Salah. Salah or Mane, they've got someone else that can actually score, and he's not going to be able to keep getting away with playing like that. I'm sorry, there's you don't have. I've never ever watched the Premier League and seen a striker like Firmino where they just don't score any goals and they get away with it, and people don't criticize them. Like it's just mad. Like it's weird.
True. Go on, Prime.
Well, it's weird because he's not a striker, he's a false nine. So for me personally, I'm not expecting 25, 30 goals a season. But
okay, wait. So how many goals are you expecting from your false nine then?
Well, here's the thing. He gets in these opportunities that are easy chances that I would expect any competent footballer. Keep in mind he plays for Liverpool, who are supposedly the best team on the planet. I would expect him to be scoring these goals, but he doesn't. And he's been like this for well over a year right now. we were telling Liverpool fans this last season, but because they were on this great form, yada yada yada, we're going to win the league for the first time. None of them listened to it; they just ignored it. Now they bring in Jota. They're showing what an actual false nine or whatever is supposed to be. Keep in mind, Firmino doesn't actually link play at all. He just creates space for Salah and Mane to run into. Jota actually drops in and knits in play and actually creates. Plus, he also scores goals. But the fact that Jota has now replaced Firmino as the part of the front three, having Firmino on the bench to come off, he doesn't create that impact either. So Liverpool are still missing another player in that forward line to create that impact for them off the bench. So, yeah.
Werner. They should have signed Werner.
Yeah, well, too expensive.
Really though?
I think
how much?
No, I think Jota though is the. I think them signing. If they sign Werner, I don't think they get Jota though. I think that's the issue because I think either one of them is a good signing. For Liverpool.
How much was Werner? 50 million.
Yeah.
Right, and then Jota's 45 million.
It's a bargain, isn't it? You go for 30, wouldn't you, all day?
But apparently they're paying Liverpool are paying 4 million a year, aren't they, for Jota?
Are they? I don't know.
They're paying him. They're doing. Apparently they're paying him like installments. So that's why they probably went for Jota over Werner because Leipzig wanted the money up front.
Okay, I didn't know. I actually didn't know that. Just want to get to this comment here. Omar Mali says, Firmino, the defensive striker, had more goals last season 9 than 3 of Drogba's season in the Premier League 07, 08, 08, 09, 11, 12. I don't know if that's true, but all right, we'll go if this is true. But Omar Mali,
I don't agree with that.
Go on, Brian.
Why I don't agree with that is because you cannot tell me that Firmino in that team is one of your most important players. At least with Drogba, even those seasons you're pointing out, I can tell you he has been, if not our most important player, then it definitely in the top 3. That 11-12 season, we won the Champions League. We don't win it without them.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what I would question that there, okay, you can say he scored more goals in whatever season that is. But at the end of the day, Firmino ain't got defenders like a Rio Ferdinand, a John Terry. It's a completely different setup now. You understand what I mean? Now, that's not a disrespect to Firmino, but what I'm saying is Drogba, you know, I know in the first couple of seasons he had to find his feet, but then we've seen the quality. A guy like
Firmino.
Drogba. Sorry, I meant to say Drogba. Drogba had to find his feet, but then we've seen that quality, the investment there when he scored in every final that you could possibly think of.
Yeah,
so the stats outweigh what you can say. Firmino scored this, that, and the other. But look what Chelsea have won under Drogba. Whenever he's got to a final, he's dug him out of the
Well, the fact is that it took Liverpool 30 years to win the league, and Drogba came within those 30 years and took him to the title. He was a lone striker. You got Fernando Torres, which I was debating at the time. Drogba was better than Fernando Torres, and Drogba at the tail end of his season was still better than Fernando Torres. And Fernando Torres is a brilliant player.
Yeah, exactly. There's this comment or video I watched on Twitter today about Jose talking about how with strikers you can't just judge them on their volume of goals. You have to look at the importance of their goals, the contributing factor they have to the team when they're not scoring. Drogba has all of that. Firmino doesn't. So I don't think non-existent. Include that as a factor.
When he plays, it's like having 10 men on the pitch. When I watch him, like there's just no, like you might as well just play with 10 men.
I don't think Bobby Firmino's a when Liverpool bought him, he wasn't the man like a Drogba.
This tells you all you need to know.
Do you know what I mean?
This tells you all you need to know. Yeah, sorry.
So Bobby Firmino wasn't bought as the main man, whereas Drogba, there was a lot of eyes on him, and you know, like I said, I like Firmino, I like him, and you know, someone just said in the comments there, he's got a touch of a flipping like Lukaku, but if the guy doesn't get games, you know, people are going to lose the touch, and you know, they're going to be, you know, they're going to fall off, aren't they? You know, if you want your players to remain like top on point, They need to play, and it looks like Firmino's fell down the pecking order.
But AV8, man, Stroll, right? I don't even know why we're comparing. Like, let's just get on Drogba and Firmino.
That's the thing now. You know why? Because these are teachable moments. Because people, the thing is with Drogba, people who didn't watch him talk about him and look at his goals. Like you can't underestimate his influence. Look at his. I'm a United fan talking about this. Stroll's a Liverpool fan talking about this. Drogba is one of the best strikers in the Premier League ever. Like easily, like it's comfortable. Like his influence is ridiculous by itself, and his importance to teams and his goal scoring records. And so you have to educate people, because people talk about what they don't know about. Because like most people who seen him someone who's seen him play wouldn't say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, can I just say that? Because every international break, it seems that Drogba gets disrespected, and his last international break, it was comparing with Henry and saying that Drogba, he didn't get the volume of goals, he's not a great player. This international break, he was being compared to Aguero and Kane. He's always been compared to Vardy and things like that. And just because people didn't grow up or live within that era and actually watch these players, because they don't have the number of goals, they don't understand the importance that they had to the team.
I hear that, yo. And just there, yo, everyone who's locked in, make sure you please hit the like button on the video, share it across all your socials, and subscribe to the YouTube channel Sarcasm City. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're watching this back, whether you're watching this live right now or you're watching this back. So England are currently getting beat 2-0. That's what I'm being told in the comments. So we'll start there.
On top of that, Ben Chilwell's injured by the looks of it. Oh my god!
I told you, man. That's what's going to happen.
You know what? Liverpool fans are right. None avoid the season.
Yeah. This guy. All right, so we'll go with England because people are bringing it up in the comments and that. I don't really care for England whatsoever in the slightest.
I can back you on that.
Yeah, Prime. We'll go to you on this because you're the non-English person. What do you think the issue is with the England team? Do you think they're not good enough? Is it a manager? Because Southgate gets a lot of stick. So what are your thoughts on it?
You can question some of Southgate's maybe squad selection at times, but I don't even think he's the problem. People think that.
Go on, Prime. Carry on.
If I look through, the England squad or the possible players that should be picked, how many of them can you actually tell me are world class? Maybe 3. I look at Germany, they have a plethora of world-class players. Spain do, Italy do, Portugal do. They all have a philosophy and a style of play. England don't have a philosophy. They don't have a style of play. The way the media, which we talked about in the last one, the way they treat English players is completely terrible. The way fans treat English players, because, you have a Chelsea fan, and because we don't like Arsenal or Spurs, if one of their players got called up, it's a thing of, why should they be in there? Well, our players should be. The whole structure around it from the FA as well doesn't help. I think, at least from what I can remember, the only time there was no expectancy from the English squad was, I think, the last tournament, and that's when you got to the semi-final. And when you did have expectancy was when you got to that semi-final and you still couldn't get over that line.
Or the World Cup, you mean?
Yeah, I think it's a mentality issue. I think it's everything. You have to change everything.
I believe there's a lot of because like socially the demographic is changing. Do you know what I mean? So say for instance, Southgate is he's not the usual England manager, in my opinion. He picks from what he believes is the very best. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to talk about world class. I'm saying he picks what he believes is the best. Do you know what I mean? To get them through a tournament, because he won the I think, didn't he win the Youth World Cup with Foden and all that business?
Yeah, he did.
So he's picking from, right, I know that this young man won this at this time with me, and I know Sterling's doing this, and I know Harry Maguire is I'm just using Harry Maguire as an example. I know that he's what we call your atypical England centre half, and then he's trying to build that England team to win a tournament. But I just don't think the country, do you know what I mean, can get with the program that actually the demographic of society is changing, whether that be the melanin of your skin or your cultural beliefs. You understand what I'm saying? Where I'm kind of the ground I'm covering. So if a player is been brought in from Spain, let's say for instance, like Fabregas at the time, he's been here long enough. He's counted as an English player. If he decides that he wants to play for England, then I believe that a lot of the society in England are like, oh well, he's not really English, is he? He's Spanish. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. With England, I think people do look too deep into it because the quality is just not there. Like, yes, going forward, the attacking options, attacking midfield, England are fine. Like, they're stacked. You get me? With your Fodens, you got Saka, you got Greenwood, Sancho, Kane, Sterling, etc., etc. Whatever. Grealish as well. That's another one. But then when you look at their central midfield options, so your deep line playmakers, your holding midfielders, Declan Rice, Harry Winks, Jordan Henderson. Like,
shocking.
These managers bang average. These managers average. Like, you can try and have these kind of average ballers. You get what I'm saying? And then, sorry, it's Prime to cut you off. You look at the centre backs: Gomez, Maguire, John Stones is awful. Mings, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. You look at it. All right, Chilwell's decent. All right, right backs they got a lot of, which are Lamptey's, Kyle Walker, Trent, etc. But the rest of the teams just But go on, Prime. What was you going to say? Also,
that again doesn't help. Like the disrespect to the likes of Rice and Winks and stuff like that. Sometimes having a squad, it's not. Yeah. But sometimes having a squad, it's not just about having world-class players. You have to pick a squad that works in order to win a tournament. Like, for example, and I always reference this, Liverpool's midfield and how it functions shouldn't work. You have to have creativity from midfield. At least that's how I think about it. But yeah, they just won a league, and the season before they won the Champions League, playing with a hard-working midfield. Sometimes you have to pick players that they may not look glamorous, but if it works and it functions, then that's what's most important, because at the end of the day, you're winning a trophy.
And I get what you're saying with that, but you see let me go here, Jeb. You see what the difference is? Yes, Liverpool, not only do they have a world-class manager, they have 5 or 6 world-class players in that 11. With Trent, you could argue Trent, Robertson, Mane, Salah, Van Dijk. That's So you could argue, and the goalkeeper actually what I did. That's 6 world-class players. England don't have that. If England had 6 world-class players, yes, it could work with that midfield. But to combat that, not only do you need a quality manager or a top-class manager, you also need the talent. England don't have that in the forward lines, yes. Everywhere else is lacking.
True, but like with Trent, for example.
Oh, yeah, Fabinho as well. I forgot about Fabinho. Yeah, you need a world-class midfielder in there as well, and they don't have that. Like, if you put Fabinho in that England team, it changes the whole England team. If you put Fabinho in English, you really don't think?
Not just one player. One player doesn't make a team. I don't think one player makes a difference.
Okay. So if Fabinho's English, does he get in the England first 11?
Yes.
Possibly.
I'm with Prime here, though.
No. So I get what Prime's saying. Does he, I just want to know, does he get in the first team? That's it.
Might not, though. But does he get in Brazil's first team, though?
Probably not ahead of Fernandinho, no. But Fernandinho walks into the England team.
I'm asking you, from the Brazil I've seen prime Brazil, Ronaldo and all that, like flipping Dunga and all them, man. The Brazil team has completely changed. For Fabinho, quality player in the right, says us looking as maybe England being semi sort of English or whatever it is that you want to, however you want to look at it. But he doesn't change the Brazilian team. He wasn't even in ahead of Fred. So if he can't change the Brazil team, what makes you think he'll be able to change England? That's all.
He would definitely get in front of Declan Rice and Harry Winks.
100%. He transforms that central midfield area, because then they have a quality operator in there. He's head and shoulders above every other English midfielder. 6s and 8s. No one gets near him. Henderson, Go on.
But it still makes a team. Like, for example, Trent, you can say he's world class, but I've seen him play for England and he gets exposed a lot.
Yeah, because
he
doesn't have the guy I'm talking about next to him. Yeah, because he doesn't have the guy in front of him I'm talking about. Fabinho helps him look like that. Van Dijk helps him look like that. You know what I'm saying?
Are you telling me that England haven't got world-class players? Sterling's world-class.
No.
I said if you listen to what I said the forward line, yes. Minus that's it. In the forward line, yes. Options. But defensively and in midfield, no.
I don't even think they have a world-class forward line.
Yeah, but they have got world-class defenders. They might not be in the center of the midfield. I mean, as the center of the defense, but you could argue that Trent is a world-class.
I give you Trent, yeah.
Yeah, you could. So
that's 1-0.
What I'm gathering from what Prime's saying is he's Ireland. Ireland have to work with what they've got. Do you know what I mean? And they're a functional team. Scotland have to work with what they've got, and they're a functional team. Wow. Now, I believe if what's he called? McGinn. Is it John McGinn?
Yeah, McGinn. Yeah.
If John McGinn was in the England midfield, England would be a very much functional team because he just plays for another country. Does that make sense?
What are you saying?
But also the players that you have around you and trying to get the best out of it. Like, for example, with Ireland, a lot of what they play, well, it might be changing a bit now, but what they used to play was kind of long ball counter-attack and get the best of what you can from Shane Long and Keane up front. You sometimes have to make do what you have. You have England at times. I've seen you try and play kind of a bit tiki-taka. I've seen you try and play counter-attack. I've seen you try and dominate the ball and suffocate teams. But you try and play a system, but there's no players around it to actually suit that system and make it work. My point wasn't necessarily that Fabinho's not world class, because he is, but bring one player into the team. How is he going to perform if the system doesn't work? Pogba at Man United, he's a world-class talent, but the reason why he's so inconsistent is a lot to do with the fact that he doesn't have the players around him.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with what you're saying.
I get what you're saying, but or the manager also as well. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Completely. But there's a space with Fabinho with the England team. There's a space for him there. So we're saying specifically him going in there and playing as a 6. Like there's a space for him there. That was my whole point. I'm not saying England automatically win anything. I'm saying it puts them in a much better position. Of course, it is. The better players you have in the correct system, the more likely you are to be successful. England are crying out for a quality 6 because they don't have anyone in that area. It's literally average to poor.
But isn't that to do with the don't some of these? I mean, Yannick, you can answer this, because you're a City fan. So basically, Foden, is he as good as everybody is making out to be? Do you understand what I'm saying now? Like United are known for producing homegrown talent. Is Foden as good as they say that he's meant to be?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, Foden's actually getting better. This season, he's even better than he was last season. Obviously, he's not had time to kind of prove it as much because he's not played, obviously, every game for us. But if you see what he does in the England squad, I think more at a youth level, he was in that World Cup. He was the star player in that team. I can't claim to watch England all the time, but he is quality. And to be honest with Foden, he's a different kind of English player. You don't get players like that all the time. Like if you look at the way he plays and you didn't know, you would probably assume he was Spanish or something because he doesn't play typically how English players play. So but in terms of England, though, I think their issue is actually that I've felt for years that it's like a popularity contest. So I think the people that get picked is who's the most popular, not who's the best footballers. And I think that's the problem because you'll get players who have more of a right to be in the squad, but yet the same names will be going in every time. The same name. They can be the worst player on the pitch and they still get picked.
A good example of it is Eric Dyer. Why is he on the pitch right now? I just don't get it.
You know why? You know why Eric Dyer is on the pitch? Because you can argue that he's one of their better sixes. This is how I'm talking about their midfield and how bad it is that Eric Dyer is in the conversation. The centre backs ain't good either. You got Mings and these men.
Wait. You got Connor Cody, bro. Connor Cody.
He's
not better.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Connor
better
Cody's
than
decent. I give you that.
Eric Dyer. Do you know what I mean? And it's just this is the problem. Like it goes back to what Yannick was saying. It's based upon popularity rather than the informed player, and that's wrong. Like you're not playing your best team when you're just playing people by their name. It's just the wrong thing to do.
Yo, just one thing.
Chelsea fans, a quick one.
Yo, ads, don't worry about it, man. We'll get you on the next show. Don't worry about it. It's calm. Go on, AV8.
So just a quick one to the Chelsea players. Mason Mount and Foden. Who do you think is the better player?
Who? Who'd say that again?
Mason Mount and Foden. And Mason Mount and Foden.
Foden, but it doesn't matter who the better player is.
But why do you say Foden the better player? Why?
Because technically he's a better player, sure, but it's about the system and what gets the best out of him.
Yeah, I think technically he's a better player. I think he's just the overall better ball. I don't think Mason Mount's bad. I just think I rate Foden highly in it from what I've seen.
So why Mason Mount in the team before Foden? That's what I'm asking.
Mason Mount's in front of the team in front of Sancho. Like, come on.
I've seen, because I actually watch all of your England games. I've been watching England for a long time.
Because you're an England fan, that's why, Prime. We're going.
Well, no, it's because I have a vested interest. Sancho, when he plays, doesn't play that well for England. 2, Foden, as talented as he is, do you really trust England to get the best out of him? To play to the way he plays and build a team around him to get the best out of him.
Prime, but that's what Carl's saying. As a coach, how many England coaches do you need to get the best out of Foden? Even what Yannick is saying, if he wasn't English, let's just say if he wasn't English, you'd think he's Spanish. So does it not come down to the mentality of the England from the hierarchy of how England should play football? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
you're talking about a system and a way of playing and stuff like that. Yeah, you're talking about a system and a way of playing. The idea.
Managed Phil Foden when they won the World Cup, and by the way, Phil Foden. The only reason why he got the shine because what's his name now? The striker at Everton. He played. Angel Gomez played. The reason why Foden got the shine is because he was the captain.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's
the winner though. I think that's why he got a lot of the shine as well.
No, he got the winner, but he was the captain. So if Holte would have been the captain, because don't forget Ryan Brewster as well. He's just gone to. So them two were on fire.
Yeah,
like I didn't even clock it that Angel Gomez was there, and Angel Gomez is arguably he's Portuguese, isn't it? So he's gone to Portugal now. He's ripping it up, so to speak. I don't know, but he's doing all right. But he can't make the England team. Yeah. It's a madness. I'm with you, Jem. You know, I'm with Prime though, still. But I'm just saying, there's certain managers. They're in the England. I know this for sure though. In the when it comes to the England setup, whether it's French or whatever, a lot of these managers work with these kids time and time again through the world, through the system. But like you're saying, Prime, it just can't always work. So I'm not saying, by the way, in the comments that I'm not saying Fabinho isn't class. What I'm saying is he doesn't really make much of a difference to the Brazilian team now. So I've seen the best of the best Brazilian team. So it does have to be a functional Brazilian team. Like Dunga wasn't the flipping. He was just Dunga was a savage, to be honest. Leonardo was a graceful player, but you still had like the team was balanced all around, wasn't it?
Yeah, you need to balance your Jabel Silvers and that. Yeah, go on, Jim.
No, I was just saying, my point is, this is what I don't get. How can you have expectations for a team like England when they haven't won anything since 1966? Every year we gas up this blooming England team. What, to set you up for failure? And that's what I tell you. If we can't win it with the golden age, Terry, Lampard, Gerrard, Ashley Cole, Rooney, all in their blooming prime, what chance have we got with these lot? And you're coming up against the France squad and the Germany squad. Do you know what I mean? That I've just filled with abundance of talent. Like, get lost. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. Just.
That's my whole point. That's my whole point with Go on, Yancy.
You know what I think though? I think it would be interesting if they did get a different kind of manager in that's not got that mentality. Because I just think Southgate is very, I don't know what word to describe him, but it's just kind of boring. Like it's
dry.
Same thing again. I think if someone like Pep, he's not picking these boring English players. He's picking the best talent. And he's probably picking these players who play differently. Do you know, like a Gomez, you know what I mean, a Foden. He's probably picking them sorts of players rather than going for the typical English. Just because that's how England have played doesn't mean that should be how they play in the future. Do you know what I mean? Because you're not going to compete with the likes of France, Germany, playing like that. You're not.
England are like Spurs in the international side of things. That's what they are. Yeah, they haven't won anything for years. They haven't won anything for years, but all of a sudden, oh yeah, we can win something. We can win something. Like,
I don't even think so. I've compared England to Arsenal on the international stage.
At least
elaborate on that.
They beat a few sides, and all of a sudden they get gas that they can win a tournament, and then they get slapped, and they become the laughingstock of the world.
And that's my whole point is like the quality, like people overanalyze it. The quality overall is just, yes, Southgate makes mistakes. The quality is not there. Like, I don't understand why people can't see that the quality is not there. England, if you blank out England and you look at all the squads who are say in the Euros or World Cup, you're not putting England top 4. So why people expect them to win trophies? I don't understand. Them getting to a semi-final, to me, the last tournament is them overachieving. Southgate did everything he could for that team.
You know what I think it is, Paulus? The Brazilian effect, basically. So when Brazil, back in the day, they didn't have a defense. They didn't have class goalkeepers. They just had man that was smash goals in for living fun. Do you get me? Yeah. So England should apply the same thing because considering that they created football in it. So I'm looking at 187. Who's saying the only world class 187 gangster Crip? Sorry, do you know what I mean? He's saying
name, by the way.
I know it's cold that, by the way. He said the only world class player is Harry Kane. Harry Kane ain't better than Raheem Sterling, so I'm not buying into that. To me,
Sterling ain't world class though.
Jordan Pickford shouldn't be number one in goal. How's he number one England goalkeeper? He's whack.
Yeah, that's wrong. All right, so you just touched on that because we were talking about world class and big up Youngo. You get me, the whole match check gang in that because he like mentioned world class and what's your parameters for it? Like, what's it based off? Because everyone's world class seems to be different. There's no guideline. There's no standard guideline football like you are world class. So Jan City, will start with you. Like, how do you define a world class player?
Oh, my world class list is quite stingy. I hear a lot of people throwing world class around. I don't really do that. I think my list is perhaps shorter than a lot of people because I just think like people say things like, oh yeah, if they could get in any team, you know, in a world 11 or something like that. But I don't really agree with that because you could have 3 strikers that are absolutely world class. You know what I mean? So you can't always fit all of them in one team, but they still deserve to be there. So I don't really go off that logic. I'd say, obviously, there's your obvious ones, people like Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. They're your obvious world class. But I don't think there's as many as people think. You hear that word thrown around too much.
Yeah, it's used too much, isn't it? That's the problem. I actually, what I do is I actually tier them. I don't actually class it as world class. Okay. For me, Messi and Ronaldo are just out of this world. I don't even bother getting involved. Like, I'll give you a good example of it. You got tier 1, you got tier 2. For me, Mbappe is tier 1. He's a tier 1 player. Yeah, Marcus Rashford is a world class player, but he's a tier 2 world-class player. Does that make sense? There's like a difference. It's not massively. There's not a massive difference between them. It's just that he's like that. Does that make sense? It's not like that. It's like that. So it's a slight difference.
Hey, Jem, I'm teething that system. I like that. I'm teething that system from you. I like that still. I like that. That's good. Go on, Prime.
Doesn't that also depend on eras and what team you play for?
I agree with that, Prime, because I was just about to say that because, say, for example, when Zidane was playing, he's world class, but Zidane was not better. You could say he was not better than a Ronaldo or a Clarence Seedorf. So let me use Clarence Seedorf for example. So people bang on how Ronaldo's still playing into his I think is he 35 or 34? I can't remember.
36.
35, I think.
35. Yeah. Clarence Seedorf was playing football till he was nearly 40.
Yeah, he did.
And he could still and he could still probably play now. So the demographic of world-class players then to now has really, I think, has shrunk that much. So I agree with what you were saying, Jem. Yeah. Sorry, because I just started, but I'm agreeing with what you're saying. I think it's just shrunk that much. Is indeed it world class? That's what you got to ask a question.
No, I rate him highly, but I don't think he's world class. I rate him highly though. I think he's top class. But then, like Jem spoke on his system, it's all about your system, how you look at things and longevity.
For me,
I put Kante in that bracket.
Yeah, you got Kante in tier 1, and indeed he may be tier 2, tier 3, but Kante for DMs is tier 1. Does that make sense in that position?
For me, it's about being top 5 in your position.
Yeah.
So I would put Ndidi in there.
Okay, so what I want to say is, say you get like where there's a glut and it's like, say there's 10 strikers who are world class, you can only pick 5 out of over the 6 to 10, and they not world class in your opinion because they're not in the top 5.
Yeah, exactly. That's silly. I agree with that.
Cool.
I can name my top.
Well, then that depends on a lot of things, because what makes you think
Strong going to get to you in a second.
World class? What makes you think all 10 are world class? Because again, we could have an era where no one's world class. Because for me, I would say Van Dijk. I would say Van Dijk, just because he is the best of a bad bunch of centre backs doesn't mean he is world class.
No. But the thing is, even though he's the best, I get what you're saying with Van Dijk, and I get the point. So we're going to get to that where you said you'll get 10 world. Like in the 90s, there was like the early 90s, early 2000s. There was top class strikers everywhere. There was 10 top strikers in it. I can name 5 or 6 from just Serie A alone. You get me, your Bastuters, your Tottis, your Del Pieros, etc., Shevchenko, Crespo. There's 5. Them were all world class. It was kind of like, that's why I look at that. Yeah, Bastutto was a baller. Lord of mercy. Again, I'm playing for Fiorentina as well. That's what's crazy. It's like, he didn't even play for a top Italian team. Imagine how much he would be worth in today's market and how many goals he would score against these shitty defenses. But back to the Van Dijk point. It's not Van Dijk's fault that he's in this era. Van Dijk is still world class regardless. Like when people start talking about him being
it's about comparing it. Like if Van Dijk was playing 10 years ago with the amount of quality centre backs around, would we be saying he's world class? Because to be world class, you have to be the best.
I would be saying that,
or one of the best in your position.
I think
was he as good as Ferdinand, as Terry, Vidic, Carvalho, peak Ramos, peak Chiellini, peak Thiago Silva?
He's in the
conversation. He's in the conversation, I would say. I wouldn't say like who's better than is that's preference, but does he get in the conversation? Like if someone brings up his name, no one's gonna be like, no chance. Like if you bring up certain defenders' name, no one's gonna. Like, I rate Laporte highly, for instance. But if you put Laporte in that bracket, it's like, no, he's not getting in. But I rate Laporte very highly. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's kind of like even Rafa Varann's not really talked about. Rafa Varane to me is world class. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, definitely. Like without, I don't think that's up for debate. But then would he get in that type of conversation? But then, like you said, it's errors. Would you remember? Who'd you watch? Etc. Etc. That's my whole point. But it's still don't take away from his level. You know what I'm saying? Stroll here said this is an interesting one. We'll get to this. This is a good question. He says you have to leave one out in their Premier League prime. Who you picking? Salah, Sterling, Hazard. One word answers from everyone, and then we'll go to the what's it called? Their reason. Jan City, we starting with you. You have to leave one out. Salah, Sterling, Hazard in their prime.
You know who I'm gonna pick, and
I know you're gonna pick. I already know.
It's gonna go down well.
I already know.
Yeah, you already know then, innit?
Yeah, I know. So go and say it. You know what I'm saying, innit? Don't be shy, innit? Why are you acting shy? Don't act brandy. Like, I just want to let you know, the listeners of the show and that. Jan City be talking hella reckless before shows and when we talk privately. She gets on here and holds back. Get me? She talks mad reckless, y'all be dissing me and all types of shit. Don't hold back. Say it with your chest, innit? You know what I'm saying? Trying to hold back. Go on.
Okay. Oh, this is hard actually.
All right, we'll come back to you. Prime.
Yeah, come back to me.
I'll come back to you. There you go. I saved
leave one out.
Leave
one out in their prime. Yeah, just one word answer, and then we're gonna come back to you.
Sterling, easy.
AV8, same to you.
Yeah, I'd leave out Sterling.
Mikey,
I'm gonna actually leave out Salah.
Okay, Jem.
Sterling all day for me.
All right. I'm going with Mikey. I'm saying Salah also. Have you picked yet, Yan City, or do we have to come back? Do we have to give our reasons and then you're going to come back? Are you done, yeah? Have you picked?
Well, it can't be Sterling, can it? So
yeah, so just pick out as Salah and Hazard.
Yeah, between the two, innit? I think, I don't know.
See that? You start getting a visual reputation of what it's like when you ask a woman where she wants to eat.
What diamond rings you want?
Yeah, serious. I don't know, innit? That one's too cloudy. I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? No, that one. Are you done, Yan City, yeah?
Yeah, you explain your reasons.
Okay, so I'll explain my reason. Hazard, for obvious reasons, I couldn't leave out Hazard. I think he's quality. I think even some of the Chelsea sides, he was literally the main man at times where they won league titles. That period where Chelsea would finish first, then the next season like a 10th, and then they'd win the league, then finish 5th, then the next season win the Champions League, and Hazard was a part of that. And obviously he had quality around it, but he put that club on his back, so that's why it cannot be Hazard. Sterling's goal output is just ridiculous. For someone who people criticize, it's a bit like the Andy Cole thing where people say, oh, you needed 5 chances to score. How are you the second highest top goal scorer in the Premier League, but you needed 5 chances to score? Something doesn't add up. I put Sterling in that bracket. You get what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make no type of sense. But so I put Sterling in that bracket because his goal return, I think they put it up on, I was watching the Sky game and they put it up on the screen. I think he was like top since like 2017 for goal and assist. So it's kind of like, how can you leave out somebody like that? So I had to go Salah. I don't think Salah's the best, and because I don't think, even though Sterling's not the best, he's not the best attacker at City. I don't think Salah's. I think Mane's clear of Salah. That's what it is. Like, I look at the Liverpool side, I'm like, Mane's the one I look at. Not like Salah's side, but Mane's the one I look at. So that's why. Yeah. Prime, give us your reason on your pick.
If I look between the 3 players, you would say Hazard doesn't have the better output, but like I keep saying, it's about their impact as well and what they do in games. Hazard is someone who can. I've seen him drag Chelsea to league titles. I've seen him. His last season at Chelsea, he was the big factor as to why we finished 3rd. Why in the Europa League final, he was by far the best player on the pitch. When you have the likes of Ozil, who people say is world class, and Aubameyang, who's a world class goal scorer, Hazard was always the standout player in the Premier League. The fact that the likes of Sanchez, Son, Salah, people were always saying, are these players better than Hazard? The fact that Hazard is always a constant, it must mean something. The fact that he's now at Real Madrid and people are criticizing Hazard so much, it says something about how good this player is. Salah, his numbers and his impact, you cannot really deny it. As much as I may not rate him as highly as other people do, but you can't deny what he does. I think Sterling, I don't see the importance he necessarily brings to City. Because I think look at Sane, look at how Pep treated him. I think if you had Sane in that side, not only does he get the goals, but he's more creative and he can do a lot more than Sterling does. I take Sterling out for that reason.
All right, cool. AV8, same to you. Give us your reason behind your pick.
Right, I pick Hazard because he's obviously the track record speaks for itself. So I don't need to speak anymore because the boys have already more or less touched on it. And I pick Salah over Sterling purely on the basis of I just think he's a killer. Do you know what I mean? It's not because Sterling's not a killer. I just know that Salah is a stone cold gunslinger. Do you understand what I mean? Like, he just his goal turnout per season is just ridiculous. Nothing on Sterling. It's not like I don't like Sterling. I do like Sterling, but out of the two, if I like right, who would I really prefer? I'd probably have on a wide up of a top 3. I'd probably have Hazard. I was more like I'd have Hazard and Salah. That's all it is.
Okay, Mikey.
I just think some of these men are mad, you know. Like, look, man, Sterling was at Liverpool. He leaves Liverpool. Yeah, goes to City, wins the title straight away, improves, says he's led the team. And it's the same with Hazard. It's the same. Yeah. Salah was at Chelsea,
left Chelsea, and don't get me wrong, went to Roma, obviously made big numbers and stuff like that. But Sterling's just, to me, is like when I seen Hazard come from, I can't remember where he came from, somewhere in France, come to Chelsea, the guy was like a different player, and I feel the same. I feel the same about Sterling going to Man City. It's just them two different level. Plus, they've won more between the both of them, way more than Salah.
Fair point. That's just decisive. I hear that, Gem.
I ain't going to say much about Hazard. Hazard's just Hazard, isn't he? On his day, he's just unplayable. He's one of the only players I know on his day where you can sit there and watch him and he can single-handedly just take you to... He could just win you the game. Like, we were struggling. There was games where we were struggling and we used to just give him the ball all the time. It was like, do it. And he would just do his thing, do you know what I mean? And we'd win. And like, for me, he's just awesome. He's just awesome. And with Salah and Sterling, it's a tough one. I chose Salah purely because he's just, like I said, I just think he's a goal machine. On his day, he's unplayable. He's like Hazard. He's just unplayable. And it's not just about his goals as well. His overall play is very good as well. So for me, I would choose Salah over Sterling, but it's not like a massive difference, if that makes sense. It was just a hard one. Yeah.
It's no disrespect.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. I can see everyone jumping up in the comments as well. It's great to see. It's a great debate. Shout out to you, Stroh. I gotta give you your flowers because he's like, I knew this question would cause debate. Stroh is good at what he does, isn't it? Even though he's a Liverpool fan, it is what it is. But I think we have come to the close of the show. So, Gem, give out your socials. Let them know where they can find you, what you've got going on, etc., etc.
Yeah, on Twitter it's CFC_Gem, and then on YouTube it's below GNA TV. We've done 3 shows now, and it's growing quite massively. So I appreciate the support, guys.
Yeah, man. There you go, Prime. Same to you, Mr. New YouTube channel, and I see you in that crate today. Let's go, Prime. You know what I'm saying? Big man Prime green. With the men. Green with the Men in Black shades. Let's go. Let's go, Prime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my Twitter is Latimus Prime X. Follow. And my YouTube channel, that I created today, Latimus Prime. Search that. I don't know if it's searchable, but my link is in my bio on Twitter, so you can find it there and just keep updated with what I do.
Yo, Mikey, big bro, same to you.
Yo, my Instagram's right there. Just follow it. I ain't got no YouTube page or nothing like that. I deal with straight coaching, the man them and the gal them. Find my page, you'll see what I'm about.
Yeah, facts. I've been sprint training with them. Yo, it's tough. Trust me. I'm telling you. It's tough. I'm telling you from experience, it's tough. AV8, let them know where they can find you, what you got going on as well, big bro.
Just AV8 Spinner on Instagram. I'm on the track. I'm on the 1s and 2s. Do you know what I mean? And I've got an opinion in it. Do you know what I mean? Yo, shout out Yannicka, man. You these guys.
Yancy, man, give him a wave, man.
Give him a wave.
Give him a wave.
It's fine.
Nah, man. They like it. They started this last time, so you don't know. We did the Guyana meets Mandem United, and they was like, Yancy FC. Someone put, I think it was BA_. Yeah, he's put Yancy FC in that. You know what I'm saying? You set up. Well, Yancy, you didn't answer that last question anyway. Let them know where they can find you, what you got going on, etc., and that. Just grinning up bare teeth. Let's go.
Yeah, my Twitter's below at Yannicka with 3 A's. I've got a YouTube as well, Yan City ENT. I've just dropped a video. I think it's come on now. I did it a long time ago. It was on racism in football, so I've just managed to upload it now. But I did it a while ago, innit? So
respect, man.
Yo, people, them go run up the numbers. What I will also do, Charlotte Lauren, she said, great show, guys. I'm out. Salute to her each and every time for supporting. I will add at some point tonight. Yo, Jan, shout out my dumb money because he's my guy. He's telling you flick the hair in it. You get what I'm saying? And shout out my guy.
You're out here. In the field, Jan. Yo, you're in the field, man.
Yeah, Jan's gonna go under. I love doing this too. It's great. Look how red she's going. This is fantastic.
Also, I just got a subscriber, so thank you, whoever who subscribed.
Yes, you know what? Mods actually add, before we even go in the comments, add Prime's YouTube channel, add Gem's YouTube channel also. You know what I'm saying? Mods, whoever, I know one of you is in here. Add it in the comments, please, before we leave. Oh, you back now, yeah? You compose now. Composure. You hear me? As Maddie just said, composure. Are you good, Yan City, yeah? See, 187 Gangster Crip says, "Nah, we need a wave." I'm with them in it. Wave to the people. Them they don't want it from me. Wave it there. There we go. You know what I'm saying?
Give the wave.
Big screener, so she can give the wave.
Oh yeah. Solo layout and that. Sick idea and that.
None of that.
She's run away.
Solo layout and that. Yeah, let's go and that. Let's go. Yeah, she's bounced and that. It's all good vibes. But also, what I will do, people, is I will add the links for everybody who's on the show underneath. So you'll get AV8, my big bros, both of them, both their Instagrams. You'll get Jem's Twitter, his Instagram, his YouTube channel. Also Prime's Twitter, his Instagram, and also his new YouTube channel. Also, Yan City hair stuff will be underneath as well. So you lot can definitely go find her and you know what? Go slide in the DMs and do all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And come back and tell the story in the comments. Yeah, man. Come slide in the DMs. In it. She gonna love it. Look at her smiling and that, showing all the teeth and that. Yeah. But yeah, people, and my socials are underneath as well in it. But this has been the Sarcasm City Sports Q&A. Like I always say, please, if you're watching this live right now, you're watching this back, hit the like button, share it across your socials, subscribe. This is also available on an audio-only platform, so you can listen to it when you're around your house, in your car, anywhere you listen to podcasts. If you type in Sarcasm City, you'll be able to find this show and all of the shows on Sarcasm City TV. We're also adding a new show on Wednesday, hopefully 2, but definitely 1. We're adding a new show. You know what I'm saying? But yes, people, this has been the Sarcasm City Sports Q&A on Sarcasm City TV. Thank you very much for tuning in.